I'm sure you can all see. Welcome. Boker Tov. Boker Or. Good morning. Or could be afternoon if you're watching it in the afternoon. Ulai. The Erev. It's over Ryan. And anyway. Well, my plan for today on Improve Your Hebrew. Ivrit Be'ivrit. Shiur Hey. That's number 5. On December the 17th, which happens to be Tav Zion, Kislev Tashpa. Kislev 5785. Yeah, more or less the vessel of by 1. Right. Hopefully, though, you do notice that this Tav and Zion, as we discussed before, cannot be the Yud and the Hey like it should be, because that would be Hashem's name. Well, not the Yud and the Hey, sorry, the Yud. The Yud and the Vav, because that would be Hashem's name. Part of Hashem's name, the Yud Vav name. So as a result, we change those letters, the Tav 9 and the Zion, which is Aleph, Bet, Gimel, Zalet, Hey, Zion, which is 7. 9 plus 7 makes 16, as opposed to the Yud, which would be 10, and the Vav, which would be, the Yud and the Vav, that would also be the same amount, but because we can't write Hashem's name, especially not on a calendar, or something that might get thrown away and not disposed of correctly in the Shemot or buried correctly. Okay, so that's what we're going to look at today. So now I just want to review that I told you last week. For those of you who really want to learn to speak Hebrew, you should contact my friend Zahava, who's one of the ladies in charge of the Israeli club here at Century Village. Her phone number is 718-496-6607. And just tell her that Cheryl sure told you to call her about finding out when they have the events for the Israeli club. Some of them are free. Some of them cost money because they get speakers. Some of them also cost money because there's going to be food involved. But anyway, you can do whatever you want. Just speak to her. And obviously, that's what we had in last week's handout about sale, meaning call Zahava. Okay. All right. So now we also learned last week about the Hebrew alphabet, the different Hebrew alphabets. And I mean, my goal is to progress on that, on the the cursives and the prints, and maybe even the Rashi. And then we talked a lot about vowels and how the vowels work, and also how when you write without vowels, which is the most common thing in Israel, like if you would see groceries in Israel and things like that, then clearly you would see the stuff was written without vowels, and you'd be able have to try to figure out how the vowels are. But again, we spoke a little bit about the rules of the vowels and how you would know which vowels would be where, and therefore you could figure that out. Of course, we also talked about the fact that you have to look at the shorish, and then you have to sort of look at the grammatical conjugation of the word to know the root. But then also some words were invented later, and they just sort of are the English translation of your name or your whatever the name is. Like sometimes people called me Cheryl, Shin Resh Lamed. But I mean, my Hebrew name is really Rivka, but call me Cheryl. So in Israel, that's okay. Again, like I said, sometimes the names and whatever are just sort of made up. They don't necessarily mean anything or whatever. All right, so that was what we spoke about. In other words, the aleph bet, the otiot, and the nukudot. Okay, so now today, my goal was to approach Hanukkah, since it's going to be coming next week. And I'm not going to be teaching for 2 weeks because my kids are coming for Hanukkah. And so I was hoping that you would have your art scroll, the RCA one, and could open it at page 782. So again, if you look at 782 and you see the way on the Hebrew Hanukkah is spelled, you will see that obviously you're going to expect to see the chet, you expect to see the nun, you expect to see the kaf with the dots in it, and then you get a hey. Okay, so, oh gosh, that doesn't show up so clearly. Maybe I need a darker color here. So, move this a little closer. Could be good if I had a darker color. It's harder. Yeah. Oh wait, this is not good. It would be good if I actually wrote it the way they write it in that. Okay, so again, Joy. Well, the fates and then on the thoughts, everybody can see that one. Erasing it, but I'm going. Okay, the cup and the hay. Cup and the hay, should I say? Well, it's a cup now because I put the dots in. It's right. Let's see what the red is. Red. That's the light. Oh, there we go. Okay. So Chanukah, those are the letters for Chanukah. Okay, so now we spoke a bit about how we would write that actually in the English transliteration. Okay, so remember we said already that the chet, it's not really pronounced like a ha, like a lot of, you see it on the cards and the things inside it. Okay, it really is Chanukah. So would say it as a CH, like a H sound, okay? The H sound, the CH sound. Okay, the new part, we would say like N, new, like news, like new, okay? And the car, was the car part, yeah. Obviously, we would say like car. And then, even though the hey is silent, we would just add the H for the hey to be silent. Yeah, again, just to show that it's there. So again, we would say car, new, car. So that's phonetically how you would transliterate it correctly so that you would understand what the letters were. Okay, so again, if somebody was transliterating for somebody Hanukkah, then this would be the way to do it. Because if they put an H in the front of Hanukkah, it can't be that, because then people are going to say Hanukkah, not Hanukkah. Okay, so like some people say Hala, not Hala. Okay, Hanukkah. There's a distinction between the chet and the hey. They're not the same. I mean, they look close to being the same, but they're not the same. Okay, the hey is the fifth letter of the alphabet. The hey is the fifth letter of the alphabet, and the chet is the eighth letter of the alphabet. Okay, it's not the same. Okay, there's the reason why they're not the same. The pronunciations are different. So there's Hanukkah, it's like that. So that's my first point about Hanukkah, is that basically, if you're looking at the article on page 702, okay, again, this is in my short Siddur art scroll. Slide. In the article, page 782. 782. Okay, that's where you're looking. And you will see there very clearly that at the top there, Hanukkah is spelled like that. Now, hang on, I'm just going to get my video here. If you look on this part of the Hanukkah thing, where it's explaining the Hanukkah, you see obviously that they did do the transliteration exactly the way that I explained it to you. Okay. You'll also see, this is at the very top of the page, that this is the page for the lighting of the candles of the menorah, kindling the menorah. Or if you read it in Hebrew now, again, you're going to see it without vowels. Okay, and this time it says, Hadlakot Nerot Hanukkah. Okay, so now again, we've got Hadlakat Nerot, Hadlakat Ner Hanukkah. Okay, well, that's first of all. Okay, so it's got Hadlakat, which is kindling, and then Ner Hanukkah, they're translating it as the Hanukkah menorah, but I don't think that translation is very accurate, okay, because if you say Hadlakat Ner Hanukkah, that means you are lighting Hadlakat, okay, you are lighting Ner. Ner is candle or light, and Hanukkah. So it doesn't say anything about a menorah in the Hebrew at the top. Okay, so again, you're looking at the top here, at the very top, and you're looking, and you should see at the very top. Here is the Hadlakat Ner Hanukkah, and here is the lighting of the Hanukkah menorah. Okay, now, the Hanukkah menorah, as we already know, is different than a real menorah. The regular menorah used to have only 7 if I could actually draw this here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. There's the menorah. That's a regular menorah, right? And then the Hanukkah menorah, that one is a little different because that one is going to have, again, 1, and it's going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2. It's going to have 8. Okay, the Hanukkah menorah doesn't necessarily have to even look like this. It could actually be like this, and then have 8 here. Okay, like that. And various other shapes and descriptions. Okay, the only thing that really has to be, okay, in the Hanukkah menorah is the Shamash one has to be higher than the others. The others kind of have to be even. And there has to be 8, as opposed to here, where in the regular menorah that we see in the shul, it's like got the center with like 6, 7 together, whatever, and get different designs based on the artists and whatever that make them. Okay, so the menorah is the menorah that is to basically remind us, obviously, of the temple itself. But the Hanukkah menorah that we're lighting now is to really remind us of the miracle of Hanukkah, which was that we only had enough oil to last for 1 day to actually fill this menorah. But actually, it lasted, this menorah burned for 8 days. Okay, and because it burned for 8 days, we now remember the Hanukkah menorah we light, okay? And we basically use that menorah to light the Hanukkah candles. And as a result, what happens is we now light the shamash, and then on the first night we light 1 candle. On the second night we light 2 candles. On the third night we light the 3 candles, and we keep going 4, 5, 6 every night, 8 nights. And so not only on the 8th night are we lighting all the 8 candles, but always, as I said, the shamash first. So when we say the lighting of the candles, okay, again, we can look now on page 782 at the brachot. Okay, so just like all brachot, there's different ways we say brachot. So some of the brachot are Asher Kedishanu B'Mitzvotav V'Tzivanu, which basically means that God has commanded us to do something. And then there's other brachot that don't say that. Okay, so now the interesting thing in the first bracha that we say for Hanukkah, again, if you're looking at page 782, you can see that the Hebrew, Baruch Atah, okay, Adonai, I'm going to say Adonai, even though it doesn't say Adonai there. It's Yud Hey Vav Hey, God's name, but we pronounce it Adonai. Eloheinu, okay, that's Eloheinu, okay. Again, that one's spelled correctly because it means our God. It's not really God's name. It's one of his properties. Melech HaOlam, Asher Kedishanu b'mitzvotav. Okay, so again, Asher Kedishanu, who has sanctified us with his commandment, V'tzivanu lahadlik ner Hanukkah. Okay, so again, this is the same as the one that we say on Shabbat every week. Okay, we say exactly that same bracha, except at the end, the only difference is lahadlik ner Shabbat instead of Hanukkah. So again, obviously, this is a weird sort of thing because clearly Hanukkah was not around at the time of Moshe and the Torah and the whatever. So clearly, the sages decided that this was a miracle and that we would say that God has commanded us to do this, to celebrate this miracle, which means that that's one of the reasons why we still say other brachot. Like, I guess the best one is the Gomel after you've recovered from a surgery or an accident or something. or even a trip, like a long trip, and you've been able to travel safely or something like that, then you say that because it's kind of a miracle that you're okay, and you say that also. Okay, so that's kind of recognizing miracles, I guess, in even later than the miracles that happened in the Torah, or even in the Nevi'im, or even in the Ketuvim, or even in, or even in other days before this. So looking for miracles and seeing miracles and being grateful for miracles is already something that they decided we should do. So now if you look at the second bracha, okay, the second bracha again goes Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, okay, the usual formula. Okay, again, as you can see, it's the Yud Hey Vav Hey name, but we don't say it. We say Adonai. That's what we usually replace that with, the Eloheinu, because he's our God. Melech haolam. Okay, she'asa nisim lavotenu bayamim hahem vazman hazeh. Okay, so again, if you just look at the translation said, who has wrought miracles for our forefathers in those days at this season. Okay, so again, look at the Hebrew words. She'asa, asha, I mean, I wouldn't put wrought exactly, but I would say made. Asa is to make something. I mean, maybe in fancy English, you would put out who has wrought miracles. But I would pretty much say who has made. She'asa nisim. Okay, so nisim, we know nisim is nes is a miracle, and so nisim is miracles. So miracles, nisim la'avotenu. So it was to our forefathers, like obviously the people who lived at the time of Hanukkah miracle. Bayamim hahem. Yamim, okay, in the Yamim, that means the days, because this comes from Yom, okay, and Yamim is plural, and Ba means in the days. Bayamim hahem, okay, those are, again, sometimes in Hebrew, they put those after the Bayamim, because again, that's a grammatical thing. So what will happen is, again, we'll say, Bayamim hahem. In other words, in English, as you could see, it was in those days, but actually the Yamim comes first and then the those comes afterwards. Okay, and Bazman Hazeh, at the season. Okay, Bazman Hazeh. Okay, now what's interesting is in this, it says in this season. So what we're talking about in this season, it's the present tense now. We're not talking about what happens in the past tense, because if it was a past tense, we would have said Hazot. Okay, that's the conjugation for past tense for that season. But we're not talking about that season. We're talking about this season now, this Hanukkah. Okay, and so we're actually saying Bayamim hahem. Okay, in those days, but at this season. Okay, so in those days they did it, but at this season, so at this time of the year. Okay, so this is why we know it is this season, and this is when we have it, and that's why Hanukkah will obviously always is on 25th of Kislev, and it's 8 days from then. That's always how it works, and we always light the first candle on that time because that's what works in the Jewish calendar. Okay, the next one obviously is the one that we also all are familiar with. When we do something for the first time, we have the special blessing that says Baruch atah Adonai. Again, as I said, the Adonai is a pronunciation of the Yud Hey Vav Hey here. Eloheinu melech haolam, shechiyanu, v'kiyamanu, v'higiyanu, lazman hazeh. So again, this bracha is the bracha that we're only going to say on the first night, okay, because it's only it's the start of Hanukkah. It's just brought us to the season, okay? Because remember, we're talking about this season of Hanukkah, and this is the first season that Hashem has brought, first day of the season. So this is only said on the night of the 25th of Kislev when you light the first candle, okay? So now let's look at the bracha again. If you did read it in English, it says, blessed are you, Hashem our God, King of the universe, okay, same formula, who has kept us alive, sustained us, and brought us to this season. Okay, so there again, it's the usual thank you to Hashem that we have been able to see this particular new event that happens in the Jewish calendar. Okay, again, like we do on, everybody knows we do it on all the Jewish holidays. Okay, the first days of the holidays, like first day of Pesach and in the Galut, the second day of Pesach too. And then we say it again in Shavuot, the first day of Shavuot, and then in the Galut, the second day of Shavuot. And then we say it again on, funnily enough, not on Rosh Hashanah, but on Yom Kippur when we light candles. And then we say it again on Sukkot, the first day, 2 days of Sukkot. Well, first day in Israel and second day in the Galut as well. And then we say it again actually on Shmini Atzeret because that's a different holiday, not the same as Sukkot. And then again in the Galut, we say it again on, well, our second day of Shmini Atzeret is really, we call it Simchat Torah, but it's really the second day of Shmini Atzeret. So again, we also say it again then, okay, because that's what we do. Okay, and also, I mean, there's lots of customs that people have other reasons in the Galut to say Shechianu because, like, for example, oh, wait a minute, Rosh Hashanah, we do say Shechianu on the fruit and stuff. Okay, so I forgot about that at the Kiddush. And so what happens on Rosh Hashanah, for example, as I said, we say the Shechianu, and then on the first day, well, obviously that is the real Rosh Hashanah, it's the first day of the year. And, well, first day of Tishrei, not really the first day of the Hebrew year, but 7th month. But we also, on the second day for sure, try to eat a new fruit that we haven't had, because then we can say the Shechianu on the fruit as well. So we're kind of doubling, making sure that, I mean, that's it. And I mean, they do that obviously in Israel, because in Israel they do also celebrate 2 days for the Rosh Hashanah. Okay, but that's a whole other story about the moon, which we can talk about if anybody's interested. All right, so let's look at this bracha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Again, the same formula. Blessed art thou Hashem, our God, King of the universe. Okay. Shehechianu. Okay, so Shehechianu, it comes from Chaye Chaim, who has kept us alive. Okay, and it's a conjugation that, for the plural, kept us alive. Okay, the kiyamanu, kayam is okay kayam just to sustain us, to keep us alive, to kayam, so that we can be successful, that we can, we have food and we can, we're sustained. The higianu again comes from higia. If you higia somewhere, you come somewhere. It's again, ani higia po, I came here. So again, at higianu, that means you brought us to this season. So again, we're just thanking Hashem that has allowed us to basically come from the previous season where we said the Shechianu to this season where we said the Shechianu. So for us, most likely, the last time we said the Shechianu was on Shmini Atzeret and Simchat Torah, unless, of course, maybe you did eat a new fruit or you got new clothing, or there's lots of other reasons why you say Shechianus. So those are the 3 brachot for the Chanukah, the Ner of Chanukah. Okay, so that's my first thing for today, is to go over the blessings. Okay, now if you carry on still on that page, you will see the first song that you sing after you've lit the candles. Okay, so what you basically do, hopefully I can sort of show you this, obviously. Obviously, you light the first candle. Well, it doesn't really matter, the shamash. It's always the first one you light. Okay, now when you light the candles, you are going to light the candles from the right. Is going to be the newest candle, the right side of your menorah. So if this is your menorah, the first candle is going to be lit here. Okay, and then the next time you'll be taking, it'll be this one here on the right. The second candle will be the new candle, right? So, and then the next time this will be the third candle, and then the fourth. the 6, but you always are going to start on, gosh, I'm not telling you the one. It's a good question. Okay, I'll have to check that one out for you. But anyway, you light, let's just say this is the first night. So you're lighting the candle here. And then over here, I guess you're lighting this candle here. Okay, and then once you've lit the candles, okay, you actually say the brachot as you actually are taking the shamash and lighting the candles, okay? And then whatever, you go through all of them. And then once the candles are lit, that's when you will basically come along now and come to this prayer that is Hanerot Halalu. Okay, so now obviously a lot of people sing this prayer because there are tunes. It's quite a nice prayer to sing while you're watching the candles burn, especially because your children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, they know lots of tunes. You can even, I guess, sing more than one tune. I mean, there's no rule says you only say it once. Anyway, but if you look at it, oh, hang on a minute. So I'm just looking here in the book. It says the light to the extreme right is kindled. Yeah, this is the light. Yeah, that was extreme right. So then next time, yeah. Okay. So now, and then the new lights are added on the left, and then eventually you're always lighting the one that way. Okay, it says that in the thing. You can read that. That's the halach, I guess. Okay, so now Hanerot Halalu, I mean, again, you can read at the bottom of the book. There's a lot of commentaries by different people, better than me, probably Rabbi Raphael Lurch and stuff like that. But the most important thing is the song Hanerot Halalu, Anachnu Madlikin. Okay, so that means Hanerot Halalu. So these lights. Okay, but Halalu, again, remember we spoke about Hillel. Hallel last week. So the Halalu is really like the praise that we, like from Hallel, it comes from the word Hallel, Halalu. Okay, so we actually are sort of, it's a praise, and then Anachnu Madlikim, and Anachnu is again us, and we're Madlikin, we're lighting, the Hadlik again, we're doing that. Ala Nisim, again, we're talking about the Nisim. Ala Niflaot this time, okay, so the Niflaot are the wonders that Hashem did, okay? And then Al Hatashuva. Okay, so notice that the Al, first you get Al Hanisim for the first one, that's on the miracles. Then you get the Va'al, because now the Va is putting in the word and. If you look in the thing, you'll see it's basically the and. I mean, the English doesn't really have it like that, because in English, we wouldn't put so many ands, we just put commas. But in the Hebrew, we're going Al Hanisim, and Al Haniflaot, and the wonders. And then we're going Va'al HaTeshuot, okay? And that is, and the battles, no, sorry, Al HaTeshuot, and the salvations. And then Va'al HaMilchamot, and then Milchamot again is the battles, comes from Milchama. So that's again what we thank you for, okay? So those are the whole things. But again, just make sure you understand in the Hebrew, it's Al Hanisim, the Al Haniflaot, the Al Hatashuot, the Al Hamilchamot. Okay, so the soon as we add the next one, we don't put commas, you see, like we do in English, to separate the miracles, the wonders, the salvations, and the battles. We put the sound. Okay, remember, Aleph Bet Gimel Dalet Hey Vav. Aleph Bet Gimel Dalet Hey Vav. The sixth letter of the alphabet, which is the sound. In the front of the world, remember we talked about at the front of the world when it's got the two dots underneath. That becomes, you pronounce it the, but it also has a meaning now. It's not just, it adds a meaning, it adds the word and to the sentence, okay? So now, if you're translating correctly here, you're going to say, Hanerot Halalu, okay, these Neirot Halalu, which again, as I said, is from the Hallel, praising, these names that are praising, that Anachnu Madlikim, that we are lighting, and Al Hanisim, okay, again, but Al means like more on, upon, I guess, because we're writing them on and for, even for, you could say, for Hanisim, for the miracles, Ve'al, okay, and also for, okay, or also for Haniflaot being the wonders that he performed, and also Ve'al HaTeshuot, okay, again, Teshuot, okay, Teshuot, and Ve'al HaMilchamot, again, Milchamot. Okay, again, Al HaNisim, you can see Nisim actually, if you look at that, it has the plural of the Nisim, okay, which is the masculine plural, because the Nes thing. Va'ala Niflaot, okay, Niflaot is because it would be a female plural, ot would be female plural. Va'ala Teshuot, which also would be a female plural. And Ve'al HaMilchamot, which is the wars, which is also going to be a female plural. And then we come to She'asita, okay, She'asita, which you performed. Okay, so we actually telling God, we are saying God in as you, like do you know what I mean? We are saying that you said, because that would be the conjugation for you. Like it would be the same conjugation if I said to you, if I was a man and I said, like I spoke to a man and I said, She'asita, if you did, I said you did that. Like it's the same idea. Okay, so again, that's against one of the big debates of the male and the woman idea. But anyway, it's lavotenu. Again, lavotenu doesn't mean just our fathers. It means also our mothers and like anybody that's our fore came before us. Bayamim haim. Okay, bayamim haim again is in that season. Okay, well again in those days or whatever. Bazman hazeh, again, bayamim haim in those days, bazman hazeh at that season. Al yedei kohanecha hakedoshim. Okay, al yedei is by the hands. Again, yedayim, it's all hands. Okay, yad is a hand. Okay, so al yedei kohanecha, the kohanim, okay, hakedoshim, because who were the people that left the menorah? The kohanim. Okay, hakedoshim. Ba'al shmo natzi mei Chanukah, and for all. Okay, so this is now the whole. Okay, the cha, it's a cha again, ch, whole. Okay, so again, that is for all Shmonat Yemei Chanukah, for all the 8 days of Chanukah. Okay, that's telling you for all 8 days. Hanerot alalu. Okay, these lights. Okay, these lights, these praise, lights of praise, these lights that we are using to celebrate the holiday. Kodesh Haim, meaning, Kodesh means they're holy, Haim. And it means Haim is the day. So again, it's back to front compared to translation in English. They are holy, okay? So again, these lights are sacred, okay? That's the translation, but Kodesh Haim is the day, okay? The Ein Lanu, and Ein Lanu means we are not allowed. The Ein Lanu, no, Ein. Okay, not permitted. Lehishtamesh ein lanu reshut. We have no permission. Ein lanu reshut. We're not allowed to permit. Okay, lehishtamesh bahem, to make ordinary use of them. Like we can't use them to read underneath the candles. Like I mean, we can, I think, do that on Shabbat, but not for Hanukkah. They're really special light candles, these, okay? Ela, okay, Ela is but, like, you know, Ela means but. Lirot otam bilvad, okay? So again, lirot is to see. Lirotam means to see them. Bilvad, alone. So you're only allowed to see them alone. That's all you're allowed to do. Kadei, in order, okay? Lehodot, in order lehodot, to thank. Again, ula halel. Okay, again, now the u there is also putting in the word and. It's like just like the other verb is doing this time. Okay, again, there's a grammatical reason why they use ula halel instead of the verb. Okay, lehodot, again, lehodot, okay, is thanks. Okay, again, hodot, lots of thanks, plural. Hence the hodot, okay, as opposed to hoda'ah, which is regular thanks. Ula halel, Okay. L'shimcha hagadol. Okay. And to praise and to thank, because the Shimcha hagadol, the great name, the Shimcha, that's our name, the great name, which is Hashem hagadol. Al nisecha, again, about the miracles, your miracles that you did. But al niflotecha, and the wonders that you did. Al yeshuatecha, again. So those are the same things again that we did. So that song, again, is sung, and while you're doing that, you need to be watching your candles burn. Like really, that's what you should be doing, or playing dreidel, or eating donuts and latkes, I don't know, anything like that. But really, you should be watching your own candles burn. You shouldn't not be enjoying, according to this. The only purpose of those candles is for you to look at them in order so you can express thanks and praise your great name and miracles and your wonders. Okay, so some people say there's a thing called persuma, the mitzvah, which means to advertise the thing. So you should put the candles in your window and put it out so that other people can also see the miracle and stuff. I think you need to be a little careful with that, especially if you have blinds and curtains, and then you could have a fire before you know it. But anyway, so maybe you should try to put it maybe close to the window, open the blinds and the curtains, and make sure you put the candles on a place where they can't fall off and burn the tables. And definitely you shouldn't be doing this if you're going to be out of your house. You can take your Hanukkah to somebody else's house and light there if you're going to a Hanukkah party. Anyway, so that's the most important thing. So then after all the lights are kindled and basically you've sung the Nairot Halalu, then people sing the Ma'oz Tur again. Okay, so I'm not going to really have time to go through the whole Ma'oz Tur, but if you read the English, you'll basically see that it's talking about all the different times when God has helped us. Some people only sing the first Ma'oz Tur and then about the Yevanim, when the Greeks gathered against us, and that's basically when they defiled our oils and stuff. I mean, my family, we tend to sing the whole one. But again, like I said, we're always making sure that we are, watching the candles burn. We're not like running outside of the house while the candles are burning. It's like we're always there doing that. And then again, after that, it's customary I guess in America, people give Hanukkah gifts. Like we sort of get gels, like real cash. And then also you can eat the gelts, give the kids, your grandkids, your gelts. You can play a dreidel. You can use the gelts for the dreidel. You can give everybody some gelts, and then they can play dreidel and use the dreidel in, or you can use some other candy. But I think basically the point of the Hanukkah is, obviously to, really appreciate what God did for us, because that was a big miracle when we got possession of our temple again, and we were able to light the real menorah. And maybe soon we'll be able to build the new temple. And well, the menorah is already ready there in Jerusalem, ready. Someone's already got it there. It's beautiful. I don't know if you've ever seen it. If you go to Jerusalem, it's in a beautiful case. Someone's already, I don't know, people donate the money for it and have built it, got it ready. We have got a little bit of problems about rebuilding our temple because there are lots of other places on top of the temple where the temple would be. But I guess we hope in God that He has His play. And again, if you want to email me, you've got it on previous things. It's S for sugar, T for Tommy, E for egg, A for apple, C for chocolate, H for Hector, E for egg, and S for sugar @gmail.com. Teachers. Well, it stands for Cheryl. Teachers. Well, I hope you enjoyed the class. Let me know. Okay, I won't see you for at least not next week or the following. So I guess happy 2025. See you in the new year.